Well, it is case after case of wasted abuse of our taxpayer dollars by the GSA. You know, the government agency under fire for its lavish Vegas vacation on the taxpayers' dime. Well, now, the agency is being accused of demanding a share of energy-efficient tax breaks it was offering to contractors. The kickback reportedly went to a new energy-efficient pilot program that got canned just after 7 months. Time to bring out our panel. Larry Winget is a best-selling author in Phoenix. Hadley Heath is a senior policy analyst at the Independent Women's Forum in D.C. And Lee Carter is a partner at Maslansky, Luntz & Partners. Easy for me to say. Larry, let's start with you.
You know, kickback is just such an ugly word, Jerry. I mean, really, isn't it just making a payment to assure special government consideration, you know, more kind of like a bribe? Either way, it's greasing the palm of government officials to make sure that somebody gets business and somebody doesn't get business. That's what it is. I'm glad it became public, and I'm not sure why they needed a kickback to begin with unless they had another boondoggle planned.
It gets just worse and worse for the GSA, Lee.
It really does. You know, we're living in a post-trust era, and when we see, like, time after time after time, people are having more and more reasons not to trust government. We don't need to give more reasons not to, especially when this is trying to do something to get companies doing the right thing, give them incentives to do more business. It's such a mess.
Hadley, what do you say?
Right, this sounds just like cronyism. It sounds like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You can call it a bribe, you can call it cronyism. I'm sure at the GSA they just call it fundraising for the next Las Vegas trip.
All right, well, how about that Trans-Canada pipeline? They've reapplied for a Keystone XL pipeline permit with the State Department. That was the big news today. The company has rerouted its proposal around environmentally sensitive areas in Nebraska, which you can see highlighted right here. Now, you'll remember the White House repeatedly saying it would reconsider Trans-Canada's request once a new proposal had been submitted, and now that's happened, Lee. So what can we expect?
You know, environmentally sensitive land, I think we're going to see a big debate about energy again. And what I think Americans want to see right now is an all-of-the-above approach to energy. We're seeing now there's 6,000 jobs that are going to be created by this, and I think it's going to open up a debate again and let us see that we really do need to do all of the things that people are looking for right now.
Hadley.
Right, President Obama essentially gets a do-over on Keystone. That's a project that's been very public. He's come under a lot of criticism. But bottom line is the Obama administration has made itself an enemy of the oil and gas industry here, domestically permitting drilling in our U.S. federal lands. If there's been any oil or gas production over the past few years, it's been in spite of his policies, not because of.
Larry, what do you say?
You know, if there was ever a no-brainer deal ever put in front of a president, it seems to me like this would be it. And it's a great time politically for him to reconsider this and sign off on it, because he's going to get to look like a hero. He gets to say, look, I was tough and I got them to bend to my will, and now they've rerouted it. And so he gets to still play to the environmentalist, and he gets to play to the rest of the country by saying, look, I'm going to give you what you want and create more jobs in the process. This is a great move for him if he approves it.
That's a really good point. All right, here's a story that really appealed to me today. Fear of the stock market driving more Americans to stash cash at home, but where are they putting it? Some going to the extent of designing custom-made bed frames with built-in safes, so giving a whole new meaning to putting your cash in your mattress. Hadley, are you surprised by this?
Oh, goodness gracious. If you're going to stash something, don't stash American dollars. If you're afraid of some kind of catastrophic meltdown, you might realize that the value of our dollar, the uncertain value of our dollar, is actually driving some of our economic uncertainty. So stash something valuable. I read about a man who bought a lot of Jack Daniel's whiskey because he wanted something to barter with in case of a real meltdown.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea to me, now that I think about it. Lee, what do you say?
I think we're seeing more and more people are afraid, and this just plays right into that. At the same time, somebody's capitalizing on the trend for more personalization. I mean, what is this, pimp my safe?
Exactly. Larry, what do you say? Would you go for the Jack Daniels over the mattress? Which would you choose?
Well, I'd drink the whiskey and I'd still stash some cash. If people would have had some cash stashed way back when the recession started, they hadn't been deep in debt and had 6 months worth of cash put away, they'd have been all right. However, I don't like safes to go under the bed. I think you need one of those great big old intimidating redneck gun safes so everybody can see it when they come in your house.
Oh, boy. Wow, okay, well, I say invest or put it in a bank, but put it aside, for goodness sake. All right, here's a story that everybody's been talking about. The NFL under fire for not focusing enough on player safety. Just yesterday, over 100 former players filing suits against the league, claiming ongoing debilitating effects from head injuries. Lee.
You know, I think it's really interesting. We know that people are concerned about safety. You see all the owners talking about it right now. But I think, you know, with everything going on right now, people have little sympathy for players. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Is safety going to be a concern? Absolutely. When it comes to our high school students, our college kids, even our little kids playing football. But the NFL, I think people have little sympathy.
Hadley, what do you say?
Right. This is a sad story, and obviously there's a ton of evidence that the brain trauma from concussions will cause long-term neurological problems. I think at issue here is how much did the NFL know about this, and what steps did they take, or what intentions did they have to share that information or withhold that information from their players?
Larry, if you're a football player, don't you know that this isn't good for you? I mean, when somebody knocks you down and you get all twisted and I mean, isn't it clear and obvious? Do you need some kind of study to tell you this is a problem?
I wouldn't think you'd need it, and I agree that I don't feel particularly sorry for any professional football players that get hurt. They got to know that going into the deal. And parents need to be responsible for their kids and understand that's going to be the way it works in high school and junior high school as well. Football can be a dangerous game, and if you're going to play it, you're going to get hurt. You have to know that going in. Don't cry foul after you're hurt.
Words to the wise, and that's frankly what I think of every time I put on a football helmet. Kidding. All right, Larry, Lee, and Hadley, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Great job. Pleasure having you here.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.